I should have put this out a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to really get into the music because there's a lot going on this, and I really wanted to dive deep into it. So let's do this.
You say it's nothing but hopes and dreams. You say it's something we can't breathe. This frame of mind must be left.
Awakening by the Slyde. So the Slyde is a Toronto-based metal band, and I really got into them when they opened up for Pain of Salvation and District 97 when they were here in Toronto. And I have to admit, the Slyde blew me away at that show. They outperformed, in some respects, District 97 as well as Pain of Salvation, which is something really hard to do. So they caught my eye. I immediately went out and bought all their material. I was very excited to hear that they were releasing a full-length LP this year. These guys really and continue to blow me away every time I listen to them. The technical chops that these guys have and the brownness of the instruments. Now, within this particular piece of The Awakening, there's a lot of what I fell in love with before. There's the very heavy, fun as well metal music that we're kind of akin to, but with a little bit of a progressive flair at times. I mean, most of the songs are radio friendly in terms of length. There's not a whole lot of tracks that are more than 5 minutes. In fact, I don't think any track on here is more than 5 minutes, outside of Back Again, the last one. A lot of the songs actually bleed into one another, so there's a lot of ebbs and flows between tracks, and a lot of that works so seamlessly that I don't realize that 2, 3, sometimes even 4 tracks, there's not a whole lot of like technical wankery on this album. There's not a whole lot of like giant flourishes, but there is enough spice on here to wet my whistle and get me excited for. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I love this album, is that the blending of the synthesized keyboards and the bombastic electric guitars blend very, very well. Like even within the opening suite of Awaken and Walk With Me, these two tracks again blend seamlessly so that it kind of feels like it's one track already. And Walk With Me has a very kind of fun ebb and flow. There's the typical kind of, I don't want to say like modern singing styles, but it does feel very familiar within the singing styles. It is something that I've heard quite a bit of from other bands, such as say Next to None being kind of the one that springs to mind pretty recently. But Walk With Me provides a great springboard for this album and where we're going to go from there. And as I mentioned, this album is just fun. It is unabashedly, unironically a great time, and In Silence, the third track on this, provides that fun. It has that very heavy-handed rhythm section where it just opens up with that, and the way that these guys are able to really handle the transitions within a song as well provides a great experience for the listener. And the one song that really has this, especially not only within the songs but between the songs, are Fading and Join the Parade. And just those opening notes within the guitar work, I can't quite put my finger on where I've heard that before, but it brings us into the whole song and it just provides a lot of fun. And I like that they don't shy away from being a little bit on the cheesy side. Like the main vocalist, where he's saying, he's doing a lot of the whoa, whoa. Other bands might have been a little bit more hesitant to provide a little bit of those cheesy moments, but these guys decided, nah, we'll take that chance. And it works out pretty well because it adds another layer of fun to it. And it transitions perfectly into Join the Parade. And I love Join the Parade. I love how it uses that keyboard sounds to, again, start the song off. And what I love is they have this build-up moment through, like, a couple of times in this. Near the beginning part, where they build it up and then go into the main chorus and verse. And then when it comes into a breakdown, and that breakdown just really makes me melt because it provides such a hard-hitting moment. And I believe they kind of reworked this from a past EP, and I'm glad that they did because I love that really great breakdown. And then when it breaks down the final time and they provide that moment, it blends into one of the next couple songs. So even though I've gushed pretty heavily about this album, it isn't perfect. There is a little bit more growing pains that the band needs to get through. It is very raw, and in some ways that adds to the enjoyment, but in other ways it does detract a little bit because it's not quite as polished as I feel like it needs to be. I think that it is a little bit on the longer side. Even though there are 10 tracks on this and it provides a pretty great listening, I feel like after Join the Parade, it really could have like finished off around there, or maybe even finished off with The Divide, but I felt like it was maybe 1 or 2 songs a little too long. I mean, those are smaller sands in the gears to an overall great performance. So overall, love this album. Great effort by up-and-coming band, and I really hope that these guys keep doing what they're doing and get some more recognition, which is why I'm covering them here. So I would definitely download this album in a heartbeat, and I kind of already did. Yeah, this is something that you want to have on your computer, on the go, something to revisit again and again and again, because the more I listen to it, the more enjoyment that I get out of it. A lot of those more subtle moments you need to kind of revisit a couple more times, and even though I've had this now for a couple of weeks, I haven't gotten bored out of it, and that is a testament on its own. So that's about it for Awakening by The Slyde. What did you guys think? Definitely check it out. It gets Note's seal of approval. And let me know of your own thoughts about this album if you've already had a listen to it. If you haven't, go out and listen to it, then come on back and let me know what you think about it by commenting down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, Notes out.